Hi friends, it's Belinda here from Be Making Joy, and welcome to episode 62 of What Brings Me Joy, a mostly knitting podcast from my home here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where I share my knitting progress with you, so you can hold me accountable for the things that I cast on. Now, it's been a month since we did our last regular episode. Throughout October, I did a weekly Vlogtober post where I was updating you on my progress with the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. But there was other things going on in the meantime as well, so let's do a full episode to catch you up. Now, I usually start it with a life update, but I'm going to move that to the end of the podcast so that those of you that are only here for the knitting don't have to wade through that. And my friends can wait till the end to catch my life update. So as I said, it's been a little over a month. I was doing the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. I also started the Ooey Locatelli Mystery Knit Along for the month of November. So I have finished clue 1 of that. The Stephen West one ended the end of October, but I'm still pottering away on the last clue of that. So I will show you those 2 designs very shortly. I also have a couple of other projects that I've worked on in between, like on the airplane, while waiting for appointments, etc. Because the Stephen West shawl was just too big to be portable. And I can let you know a little bit more about 2 designs that I am working on. And I've received some exciting mail to show you. So let's get started. One Love Shawl by Ooey Locatelli. Clue 1 came out last weekend. Clue 2 just dropped this morning. So I'm eager to get back to working on it. So Clue 1 came out last weekend on Saturday. I didn't actually choose my yarn and wind it until the end of the day on Saturday. This is the yarn I ultimately chose. It is a Lil and Roxy yarn and 80-20 sock. So that's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And the color is Boreal. Have I got that up right? Yeah. The color is Boreal. And by the end of the day on Sunday, I had finished Clue 1 and have been eagerly awaiting Clue 2. So I want to get this recorded so that I can start on Clue 2. There's the front side. I assume it goes this way because it started with a garter tab cast on and then it worked out from there. So Clue 1 was a garter stitch section and a tiny little lace section. See if that's spread out enough for you to see. So there's like 5 repeats of that lace section across. So beautiful. It's a one skein shawl. It's called One Love. The designer is Ooey Locatelli out of Buenos Aires, Argentina. And she's releasing the clues every weekend, 4 weeks in a row throughout November. I think I bought this yarn at the Beehive in Victoria back in 2021, if I remember correctly. Lil and Roxy is a Canadian hand dyer based out of St. Thomas, Ontario. I think it is somewhere in Ontario, outside of Toronto. And it's available in several shops across the country, plus online on their website. There, I am loving that. So I don't think I've ever actually used a green yarn before. I don't have a green yarn in my collection, a green shawl in my collection, so I think I need one. Because I have a skirt that I bought in Spain when our suitcase was missing, I bought a skirt that is a green and a burgundy combo, so I needed a shawl that will match that. So I think this will be lovely. So let's tuck that back in the bag. I've been using the bag I bought at the Nova Scotia Fiber Festival, Woolstock East, back in September. Don't remember the company that I bought it from, but there's no label. I'm soon going to have to move it to a bigger bag when the shawl gets bigger. Now, the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. I am on clue 4 in the brioche section, which is all the way across the bottom there. The yarns I chose for this one are ones that I bought at Stephen and Penelope's shop in Amsterdam back in September. So it's their new yarn line, Hex, which is 100% South American wool, made in Peru. Oh, no, it's not. It's 86% superwash merino wool and 16% nylon. Anyhow, I did hear on a recent podcast of his that it was made in Peru, that he got to go down there and actually visit the shop and make the color selections and stuff. So it sounds like so much fun. There it is, written right there. As well as on the back. Anyway, so 4 colors of that, 4 different shades of gray. The color names were things related to Amsterdam, like one of them was Dutch Sky, probably the lightest gray. Dutch Sky, Canal House, Architect, and I don't remember the 4th color. Well, it's written on the labels, let's check. Architect, gray, I don't know how to pronounce that. And then we have Dutch Sky and Canal House. And I don't remember which color is which shade is which. But I'm loving the shawl. It's turning out nice and big. Let's see how far I can spread the arms with it. Ooh, while it's bunched up on the needle. So it's going to be way longer than my arm span. Clue 1 was the scallops section. Clue 2 was this wavy section. And I added 3 colors of glow hair, which is a mohair from Stephen and Penelope. He gives you the option to add a glow hair dare, a mohair dare, pretty much anywhere in the shawl you choose. So I chose it in this wavy section. Instead of just 1 color, I went with 3 colors. I have an enchanted, a burgundy, and an olive green in there. And then clue 3 was all these little, this Harlequin section, all these tiny rectangles, 12 rows of 12 stitches each. I've got all my ends all woven in, yay! And then clue 3 also had this section, which was a joy to do, and I think it's beautiful. And then we've got the brioche section for clue 4, which I'm going to turn it upside down so we can get a closer look up at the brioche section, which is similar to a rib. It's a 2-color rib. And that first section drove me crazy because it used the 2 darkest colors in my collection, which were too close together. And let's see if we can get this on camera. I actually made a mistake. Yeah, let me look aside and find it. It was more to this end. Right, you can see it better on the back end. I actually made a mistake, and you can see the colors kind of change places partway through 1 row. And I discovered it a couple of rows later and said, no, I'm not going back to fix it. But the colors were too close together and they were dark, and I had to keep bringing out my glasses and my neck light and picking up drop stitches with the pain. But now that we've done the dividing stripe and we've started the next brioche section, there's more of a contrast in my colors, and it's going to go much better, I'm sure. And I have enough yarn left over. I weighed it. There's enough to finish the full set of his directions. At the start of clue 4, he gave us measurements for what he used for his clue 4 section so that we could do some yarn management. If we were running short, we could just not do as many brioche sections. The full will be 3 brioche colors. And I have enough left over that I could do what I know what somebody else, if my math is right, somebody else added a 4th brioche section. We'll see how we feel after we finish 3 sections and how much is left then. And then it will all end with a I-cord bind off. We're up over 480 stitches, and we're adding 2 more stitches every second row. Each row is you pass through with one color, then you come back to the end and you pass through with the other color. So it is taking quite some time, and I can't work on it anywhere other than on the sofa, so I can have the support for the rest of the material and manage my 2 colors of yarn. I'm still really enjoying it. I quite like that striking contrast. It's very unique. Let's have a full look at what it would look like up against the body. So I just can't wait till we get that all spread out and it's all its glory. So yeah, okay, let me gently put this away and I will be right back. So I dropped some stitches off the needles while I was spreading it out to show you. So that's all picked back up and fixed and put back on the sofa, or in the sofa room on the coffee table. Now, I have a finished object to share. You might recall I entered 2 designs into the TKGA pillow design contest, Pillow Talk. I found out that they didn't win, so now we can just move on with the designs and self-publish them. So the one that I had entered was my neck pillow. So I have been working throughout October on a second one, and it's now finished. And the pattern is written. All I need to do now is weigh this finished project so I can make sure that my yardage calculations are correct, and then it's ready to send to a tech editor. And then depending on her schedule, it should be ready to publish around the 1st of December. So what this is, it's a stuffable neck pillow. And this saved me in Barcelona when my suitcase decided to stay in Berlin. So I had it stuffed with a change of clothes, 2 changes of clothes. I had the underwear and socks and stuff stuck back here. I had a pair of pants, a pair of shorts, and 2 t-shirts stuffed in it. And I'll insert a picture for you of me wearing it on the plane. This original one I did in acrylic. I used Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday DK. So then I decided to try it again in a cotton yarn. So this one is using a DK cotton, Lion brand 24/7 cotton. And yeah, it's being a tube, it's shaped with short rows and the drawstring closure, and I prepared a video to go with the pattern for how to do the casing for the drawstring and the drawstrings themselves, either as an I-cord, as I did in this one, or a crochet chain. And is there anything more to say about that? I used 3.25 millimeter needles to get a nice tight knit so that your stuffing is not showing through. Next time I go on a trip, since it's now winter, I will be stuffing my puffer jacket into it for the trip back home so that I have my jacket handy when we get back to Calgary. Well, I took my notes. I think that's all I need to tell you about this right now. So, the other pillow that I had entered into the design, back here, And I've been working on a complement to it. In another bag I bought from the Nova Scotia Woolstock East. I am... where's the other piece? Where's the other piece? There it is. So my complement to the boat will be a lighthouse. So I've got one panel done. I got the second panel well on its way. This went to the hockey game with me Wednesday night, and will go to the game with me again tonight. And then the two panels get put together into the pillow. And not sure the exact timeline for when I will publish that pattern, but let's get the neck pillow published first, and then we'll send this one off to the tech editor. So I'm also using the Premier Everyday DK in these pillows in several different color choices. Yeah. I look forward to sharing that with you sometime over the winter. And I need a pause. Okay, I have two more projects I want to show you where I'm at on those. And then let's go back and look at my list and see how many UFOs I actually do have. And then we get to the happy mail. This is in a bag I bought at... oh dear, what was the store's name? It was in Ottawa, downtown Ottawa. I'm sorry. And there's no label. But anyway, enjoying the bag. It's holding my socks for my middle daughter. And if you remember these socks, I had them almost finished before, and they were too long in the foot. And I was planning to cut the toe off, take out the inch and a half that I needed to take out, and then graft the toe back on. In the end, I decided not to. Maybe I was chicken, or my excuse was that was going to create extra tails. It might get uncomfortable on a very sensitive spot of the foot, the bottom of the toe. So I frogged back to the point where we needed to start the gusset increases. Redid the math. I found a better pattern, a better formula in Nancy Wheeler's Nancy Wheeler's Frosé Shorty pattern. I used the heel instructions out of that. So toe up construction, obviously, and the gusset, and then the heel turn and the heel flap. And then I put them back on the same needle so we can do the body of the sock. I'm working from both ends of the same skein of yarn. Actually, I had to wind them both together into the ball when I unraveled it. So we're working from that. The goal is to use up all of this and then do a cuff in the same color we used for the heels and the toes. Simple, plain vanilla toe-up pattern. Nancy Wheeler's formula for the heel. And then I'm doing a 2x2 ribbing for the leg. And then Cassie has picked out a cuff pattern out of my socks book over there. The Socks a la carte book. The pattern called the Aristocrat for the cuff. Which I will show you when we get to that point, I guess. Yeah. So that got a fair amount of work over the last month. Coming along. I hope to get them finished before the next time I see Cassandra, which, well, will be the end of December, if not before. And then the other project I'm really in love with and looking forward to getting back to is the Ooey Gooey sweater by Angela Mowry. And now this duffel bag was from Mary Maxime, a Canadian mail order company that specializes in craft supplies, but has some other household goods, etc. with it. So, the Ooey Gooey sweater by Angela Mowry, which was her Rhineback pattern for this year, and I had intended to take it with me on our trip to San Diego. I wanted to have it finished at the same time that people were wearing them at Rhineback that I didn't get to go to. But then in the end, when I was debating luggage, what to take, after having lost the luggage in Europe, I was leery about taking too many knitting projects in case they got lost again. So I left this behind to focus on the Stephen West Mystery Knit-Along. But nonetheless, before we left for San Diego, I had reached the end of the skein I was using on the body, so I put that on hold and started a sleeve. When I do sweaters, I like to finish the sleeves before I finish the body so that I can see how that's going to affect the fit and then decide from there how long I want it to be. So, isn't that just gorgeous? So, when I finish the Stephen West shawl or I get bored off it, I'll get back to this. The yarn I'm using for it is yarn I bought from Biscott Yarns in Gatineau, Quebec, just across the border from Ottawa. And I don't remember anything about it. The base is called La Douce MCN, which means merino cashmere nylon. So it's a blend of 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. It's so soft and beautiful. And I don't think the colors actually have names, just numbers. But they look lovely together. It's just so soft. It's going to be so warm. I'm so loving it. Okay. Now there are some other WIPs on the go, some that have been left behind. And actually in my last full episode, I think I was wrong on the number of WIPs that I told you. So let's go back to the actual list and count them. I'll name them off and we'll count them. So we've got the placemat that I abandoned 2 years ago. It was to be a design to go with my grandma's tablecloth that I designed. We have the 2025 temperature scarf, which I'll admit I haven't done anything on since September. But it only takes me 5 minutes to do each day's color. So once I set aside time to sit down and finish it, it'll get finished quick. So at the end of 2025, I will definitely make sure that it gets done. And then we have the dishcloths on the go on the treadmill. As soon as I finish one, I start another. So there have been some that I just haven't shown you. I use them or I give them away. And then there is the Lighthouse pillow that's on the go. That's I should get a lot more progress on tonight at the hockey game. And then there's Cassie's socks. And then the Ooey Gooey sweater. The 2025 Stephen West Mystery Knit-Along, which I don't think I told you in this episode, is called the MusiKAL. It has a musical theme. There were like sound waves and keyboards in that design. And Joji Locatelli's One Love shawl. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I need to cross off the neck pillow because it is done. I finished it yesterday. So that leaves 8 WIPs. And as soon as I do another cast on, I'll have to start a new page. I will rewrite these into my next calendar, because this is the 2025 calendar, and I started a new calendar, or I will be starting a new calendar very soon. It actually starts with September. I bought a school year calendar instead of a calendar. I might change my mind and go buy a calendar. So, but as soon as we set up the new calendar, I will rewrite my WIP list into it. Okay. You ready for the happy mail? And then a brief life update. So I ordered this back in late spring, early summer. It's technically a Advent sock. It's from Woolens and Nosh. Let me double check that. Woolens and Nosh, based out of the US. I want to say New Hampshire. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, Michelle from Woolens and Nosh has been doing striped socks. And she's been doing this mystery sock every year for a while. And it's in this bag. It's a secret what color the stripes are. It's packaged. It's already caked. It's packaged so that we have the yarn coming out each side of the bag. So we can make socks with it. And each day, and I'm not going to start it because it starts December 1st, and I will do it along with everyone else on those dates, even though I don't celebrate Christmas. And so as you pull it out, you're getting a stripe. It's a one stripe each day, and then pause, wait till the next day to pull out the next stripe. So I will be doing that. I will be doing a short little daily video every day in December for that. Now this picture on the outside is the theme for this year. So it's a hiking theme, hiking, camping. So we can imagine what kinds of colors are going to be in it. And it came with a mini skein that matches. This will be the neutral color that appears between each color stripe. So it came with a mini skein. So I'm going to do toe-up socks. So sometime before the 1st of December, I will make the toes out of this color. And then December 1st, we can pull this out and see what the first stripe color is going to be. And I've decided I'm going to do them in a 64 stitch sock, the same as the sock I've got on the go for my daughter, my middle daughter. She and my husband have the same size foot. So we'll see when it's knit up which one the colors more suit, him or her. So yeah. That was exciting. And when she was going around getting started with her shipping, she messaged me because it's from the US to Canada and there are tariffs and we have our Canada Post strike. She offered to give me a refund if I was worried about not receiving it through the shipping. But I said, no, go ahead. Our Canada Post, the issue's still not settled, but they are on rotating strikes right now, which means one by one or two towns are shut down for a day or two while they strike. So rotating strikes. And we live in a major hub here in Calgary. So I had no doubt that I would receive it, even if it was slowed down. That was okay with me. Even if I didn't receive it in time, that would still be okay with me. So I said, go ahead and ship it. She put it out on October the 27th, and I received it on November the 4th. So less than a week. So 5 days, 5 business days is all it took to get through customs and get here. Now I did have to pay a customs fee of $14, which I kind of expected. It's often hit and miss whether or not we get dinged for customs, but I think it's probably going to happen more often now that they're stopping and checking for tariffs and whatnot. And I don't know how much of that fee, if that fee included tariffs. I don't know really anything about the political aspect of all of that. But yeah, the The dollar value of these was $68, I think, US, which we're now at a 40% exchange rate here in Canada. I don't remember what the exchange rate was back when I paid for it. And what the shipping costs were. But $14 customs on that as well. It's okay. It's expensive, but for the excitement, the mystery of it, it's going to be so much fun. Because I love grab bags. I always did. As a kid, when we got to go to the store, I bought the grab bags of candy, paper bags of various assorted candies. Loved the surprise. In older years, in adult years with the young girls, I loved to buy grab bags at Ardene's, little pink plastic bags full of various hair products and jewelry, or sometimes a sock, a pair of socks. So I love mystery bags. They can be my downfall. So I love the advent calendars and the advent socks for that reason. And yeah. Okay, let's talk a bit about the life update. But if you were here just for the knitting and you are leaving, that's okay with me. Let me say goodbye. Happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy whatever it is that you like to do. Go make some joy. But my friends, what have I been up to for the month of October? Let me peek at my calendar and fill you in. We got back from Europe at the end of September. It took me a long time to get over the jet lag. I recorded the last episode on October the 2nd. We got our winter tires put on the vehicles. I checked in with the dietitian and the doctor. Things are pretty good. Except, when the heck am I going to be finished with this menopause business? We had both girls home on Thanksgiving weekend. Cassie was here for a dodgeball tournament that weekend, so Amanda arranged to come in on Sunday. We ordered a turkey dinner takeout from the carriage house near us on Saturday, so that we had food. Nobody had to cook the whole weekend. And we had leftovers for days. It was wonderful. We've been to a couple of Calgary Flames hockey games. The one on Wednesday night was really good. A very celebratory ceremonial because Kadri was playing his 1000th game. So he was 1000th NHL game. So he was presented with a silver stick. That was nice. And they won 5-1. There's another game tonight. Tonight they play against the Blackhawks, which is the team I used to cheer for before I moved to Calgary. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I take knitting to those games, as I've mentioned before. As well, I take my knitting to any of my appointments. Saturday before we went to San Diego, we attended a funeral and we attended the Sarah McLachlan concert. I did not take knitting to either one of those. We spent a week in San Diego, just a few walks, visited the zoo, Balboa Park, and not the time just looking out at the ocean. It was lovely. Yeah, I think I took enough photographs and stuff to put together a slideshow of that week. My Amsterdam video was published here in the Our Travels playlist on this channel. 3 weeks ago I got it published, and then it took far longer to work on the Berlin portion of the trip. But it was published just on Wednesday. I finally published it. When I dumped all the photos into iMovie, I had 90 minutes of footage. Then I went through and whittled them down and did some voiceovers to it and got it down to 50 minutes. I couldn't do any of the voiceovers while we were in San Diego because there was the constant sound of the ocean, which doesn't go with Berlin. Now I started with the Barcelona photos. I've dumped them into iMovie and it's almost 3 hours of footage. I haven't looked at them yet. I need to whittle them down. I'll cut down the size of the pictures clips. It's default is 4 seconds. I shrink them to 3 seconds. That makes a big difference in the length of the video. And I have some voiceovers to do, and I'm sure a lot of those photos are just simply not good. So we'll start editing that soon. Yeah. I think that sums up October. And now it's November. Did I say what date I was recording this on? I'm recording it on Friday, November the 7th of 2025. And this was episode 62. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed my content, please click the like button. And if you want to see the rest of the videos as they come up, click the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what's been bringing you joy these last couple of weeks. And happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy diamond dotting, happy beading, happy jigsaw puzzling, happy whatever craft that you like to do. Go make some joy.